Right then, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship here for round number 9 of the 2020 Formula 1 World Championship at Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. Yes, Formula 1 is here for its third running of the French GP at the Paul Ricard circuit. We've had Formula 1, we had Formula 2 and Porsche Super Cup, and if you do apologize, I've got a call on my phone right now. So, hi, Jamie. Good afternoon to you.
What's set to be from a very exciting first half of the F1 season here, and we're kicking off here in the second half here at a really fast track nonetheless here at Paul Ricard here. Qualifying here sets to be very important here for this session, especially given the medium to high speed corner nature of this track. And yeah, I think this will be a very fun qualify session here, as it has always been so far this season, as we're seeing the Racing Point starting his fast lap. Anyways, the track here, here in 2020, the Circuit de Paul Ricard, the French track, would celebrate its 50th anniversary, actually, since its opening in 1972. It was founded by the French entrepreneur Paul Ricard. Ever since its inception, it's been very notorious and important in F1 testing throughout the years as well, and it poses as an important staple in French motorsport for sure. Circuit Paul Ricard is notoriously known as a very safe track, given for its large amount of runoff, actually, which makes it like a very safe one, especially if you make a mistake. It's very forgiving, because you've got a lot of track actually around you in order to recover from those mistakes. But no. The circuit itself has got 5 layouts. We're currently using the Grand Prix layout as well, which has a total of 15 turns, as Kai Tresnia at Montreal in turn 8 and turn 9. He kind of locks up a bit, which won't improve in his lap time. The capacity here is 90,000, which makes it one of the biggest motorsport venues in the south of Europe, actually. Very important staple in endurance. It hosts the 4 hours of Castellet, the GT World Challenge Europe, the International GT Open, and also regional Formula Series such as the Alpine Alpha Europea Cup. Used to host the Formula 1 Grand Prix in real life from like 1971 to 1990 sporadically, sharing it with Magnicor, and it became a global staple, a stable in 2018 to 2022. Hadra, the Racing Point, will go ahead across the line. He sets a provisional time of 1 minute and 40, so that will be the staple for the first qualifying session here. As it's Perechki, the Mercedes driver, obviously goes fast, as he has got Alfa Romeo ahead of him, which kind of slows him down a bit. Alexander Arnold, he's still driving despite Emmett Oshkin's injury, but Emmett Oshkin, I think, will be available for the next race. So this is Alexander Arnold's last substitute performance here for Scuderia AlphaTauri. He's done a pretty good showing so far in the first 2 races, so we'll see if this will be a second one. Dennis Graf, he currently is in 3rd, and followed by him is Johansson. Johansson's on provisional pole. He has got a lot to gain here from this race. He can take the championship lead if he performs well and finishes and outpaces Dennis Graf, actually. The two are currently 5 points in the driver's standings, which is the closest that those two have been so far this season now. And for sure that this qualifying session will provide a importance here for qualifying.
Yeah, thank you for guiding us through the track, by the way, while I couldn't do it. Much appreciated. But yeah, the championship very close, obviously. It's reaching a boiling point now. We hit the mid-season. Dennis Graf, who I have to say has been absolutely dominant this entire season. Jesper Johansson has caught up to him, obviously, after Graf's DNF and his race win at Tuscany. They're down to only 5 points, as you said. And yeah, it is going to be really interesting to see who will be leading the championship heading out of the French Grand Prix then, as the Q1 times are coming in. There's Labas Osniska across the line. Daniel Waller with a very good P11 right now. And Josef Fredrik Schuto will be the final man across the line. And that is all the first 20 times on the board. And your bottom 5 at the moment is Emilia Konishina, followed by Josef Fredrik Schuto, Victor Albom, Jafari Blackwood, and Giulia Cesetti. So both Alpha Tauris once again looking good in Q1, although they are a bit on the edge of the elimination zone there. Daniel Wale with a very good performance, I have to say. So yeah, not too much out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. Very impressive there for Vale to be up there in P11. That's nearly qualifying nearly in the position to get into qualifying 3. Although, albeit the times will get a bit faster, though, it is very good to see the Alfa Romeo driver really pushing as well. And yeah, so we're entering to 5 minutes left to go. Emmy Nielsen is still stuck in 14th, which is he still outperformed his teammate Alexander Arnold at the moment. Both AlphaTauris last race had something of a dream drive for Emmy Nielsen specifically, as Kulisic goes ahead and breaks into the top 10 to take 8th.
Yeah, nice stuff from Wojtek Kulisic. As one team that should also be mentioned at the moment is Racing Point, as Mandic is 4th with Kai Shrezhny in P6, as Fernando Tost goes up into 11th, obviously not wanting to be knocked out again in Q1 as it was in Tuscany.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Tost as well. The McLaren driver is currently on a 4 consecutive race, no point streak, especially in like a non-point finish after a slightly of a nightmare for him after a first lap collision and losing out on points to Josef Fredrik Schuto, the Slovakian, scored Williams' first points so far this season.
Yeah, it's nice to see that Williams have picked up a few points, or I shouldn't say few. They picked up 1 point at the very chaotic Tuscan GP. We'll see if they'll be able to carry on the performance here today, but I don't think this race will be as chaotic as it was in Tuscany. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see as we're now looking at Emilia Konishina heading down the Mistral Straight. Obviously, she'll be wanting to get herself out of Q1 as well after what was a disappointing Tuscan GP. Obviously, was running in the points for the majority of the race until a collision took her out of running.
Yeah, absolutely. Emmy Nielsen just proves to be safe for now. Lewis McIntyre, the McLaren driver, he's currently leading the charge for out of the McLarens currently. He's the one that's setting the tone for the midfield battle. Very interesting that both of them are about a point away from each other in the standings after McIntyre's a phenomenal second place, actually, who kept it mistake-free to take some very valuable points for the team for sure.
Yeah, McIntyre, who has 2 podiums to his name this season, which is absolutely incredible for the Brit on its return to the McLaren team. It's going to be really interesting to see what he can pull out in the later stages of the season, as Josef Fredrik Schuto now goes up into 16th. Not enough for the Slovakian to lift himself out of Q1, though, just yet. He's missed it by about 100th of a second.
Yeah, he's about 100th away from Alexander Arnold's time as well. So Alexander Arnold is not exactly safe there in 15th position. If Josef Fredrik Schuto improves once again, then we might actually see a Williams go into Q2 in an track in Paul Ricard where car performance slightly like improves much better than like driver skill per se, as we've seen in Mugello. That'll be very impressive for Assetto to pull that off.
Indeed, this is a more car-reliant track, as you've got a lot of fast flowing corners and this very, very long straight where engine power is going to be a massive factor in if you'll be able to excel or not. You can see, for example, this showing here as, this is Johansson trying to get Wale, and Daniel is not very keen on letting the world champion through on his quali lap, it seems like. So Jesper is going to be blocked here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think Johansson has kind of got much to worry about, though. He's comfortably ahead by about a 10th, so that's probably him going to be very comfortably into Q2. Very, very comfortable, actually, as Daniel Vale goes into the pits, and so does Johansson. Sesnitschke, meanwhile, improves and goes up into 9th.
Yeah, Ferrari looking quite decent so far. Lamazasnishkai
Oh, wow.
As there, yeah, Schuto across the line, and he's up at the 15th. Nice lap from Josef Fredrik Schuto, and with 1 minute to go, that could possibly be the Slovakian driver into Q2, but we're going to see what's going to happen as Alexander Arnold has now been pushed into the elimination zone, the man who could potentially be in his final F1 race this season. We'll see what he's going to be able to pull out here as he's going to go across the line. And will he be able to get himself back out of the elimination zone? Yes, he does. And what a lap it is from Alexander Arnold all the way up into 7th.
Really good as well. He needed like 200s to overtake Suto, and he's managed to do that by getting himself into the 140s zeros, which is racing point time, which is very Sassetti goes up and displaces her teammate to take 16th. Still not safe, but pretty good showing there from Sassetti.
Yeah, nice lap time from Cesetti as Emil Nilsson now goes up into 11th. The two Alpha Tauris getting a bit more comfortable now as they've moved further up the grid. Lewis McIntyre up into 8th as there's a Renault there in the background, I think, just coming into the pit lane. That's Vota Kurasek who's just coming into the pits. As we're looking at the man in 4th at the moment, Tomas Mandic, who I have to say is having a very good redemption season. Currently P5 in the championship with 2 podiums, as he is only 2 points behind both Alfred Klaus and Ennis. No, wait, what am I saying? He is he is 18 points behind Ennis Parachki and Alfred Klaus, and which for a midfield driver is very good.
We'll see. As Suto crosses the line, I don't think he'll be able to improve as such. He stays where he is, but Mandis is actually out. He's quicker than Dennis Graf in qualifying 1, which is pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, indeed, very well done from Thomas Mandic, but I think Red Bull might just be trying to save up the car for Q2 and Q3, as we have seen in the past before. Jafari Blackwood is going to try to attempt not to be last in here as he crosses the line. Unfortunately, cannot improve as Alexander Arnold. What a lap from the Alpha Tauri driver up into 3rd. That is a brilliant lap time.
And Sassetti comes into the pits, and I think Emmy Nielsen will probably also come into the pits, I think. But yeah, absolutely amazing there from Alexander Arnold for such a performance, especially in an AlphaTauri car as well. I mean, this team has been surprising both of us races and races, and it's really amazing to see that team do so well. And especially in qualifying 1, it does set the pace for today's race.
Indeed, I have to say, AlphaTauri have provided a lot of great results, especially Emil Nilsson, I have to say, who's been absolutely rapid this season. As Thomas Mandic comes into the pit lane, waiting for 2 cars across the line, and then Q1 will be done and dusted. Josef Fredrik Schuto, let's see if he's going to be able to improve on this lap. The man who currently is in 17th, Williams, looking a tiny bit better than before, as the checker flag has fallen. Q1 is done and dusted. Jesper Johansson takes the fastest spot, and your bottom 5 will be Giulia Cesetti, followed by Josef Fredrik Schuto, Emilia Konechina, Victor Arbom, and Jafari Blackwood. So that is Q1 over. 2 Williams, 2 Hasses, and an Alfa Romeo out. But I have to say, Alpha Tauri looking very, very promising heading out of Q1.
Yeah, that lap made there by Alexander Arnold was something of a dream for the German as well, to get himself into the top 3. And the top 3 consists mainly of Red Bull, Mercedes, and a bit of the Racing Point, as we've seen in recent performances. But for Alexander Arnold to go there and set a sub 1 minute 40 time in by itself is impressive. Also, interesting thing to note is that Dennis Graf, currently down in 5th, he was the only of the top 2 teams that didn't actually set a 1 minute 30 sub 1 minute 40 time, which is it's pretty weird for the Red Bull driver, especially in this first qualifying session.
Yeah, I guess. I guess Graf probably is saving up the car. But yeah, a lot of midfielders, I have to say, looking really strong. I don't think we can call who's going to come out on top in this race. So it's going to be really interesting to see anything. One team that will have a bit of extra pressure on them today will be Renault, obviously, in their home race. Gamba and Kulasek will be wanting to perform quite good.
Yep. Qualifying 2 is underway now. The Alfa Romeo of Daniel Valle, the Chinese driver, is the first to exit the pits, actually. So Hugo's got quite a ways to go if he wants to get himself into Q3, because Q3 is going to be... This battle here for Q3 is going to be a very first one for all the midfield teams, for sure.
Indeed. And Daniel Waller, who I believe hasn't qualified in Q3 this season, will definitely be wanting to do it. The man from China, who has had a very, very eventful career, debuted in 2018 in IndyCar. That was Tier 3. And he would actually go on to take 2 podiums that season. That was a 9-race season. He'd go on to finish a brilliant 3rd in his rookie season, ahead of many promising talents, including F2 champion Will Parrish. He'd actually tie on 3rd that season, but he would get it on countback, and obviously that earned the man from China a promotion up into Formula 2, and what an explosive debut it was for him, as he obviously made his debut with the Haru's team. He took a dominant opening win at Bahrain, and he'd follow it up with another dominant race victory at Spain. So he'd take 2 race wins, which would earn him about a 30-point championship lead over everyone else, which at that time we'd never seen anything like it. Unfortunately, though, he wasn't able to follow it up with a championship charge, and he would go on to finish P9 in the championship, but it would be enough for the Chinese driver to earn up a call-up into Formula 1, and that is where he is today, as he's now going to start his lap of the Paul Ricard circuit, heading down into turn number 1, and then through the immediate left-hander of turn 2, down the slow straightaway into turn number 3, the second braking zone, Hotel, as it is called. Bit of a faster chicane as you head through turn 4, and it's still a snaily bit as you head through Camp, turn 5, and then Saint-Baume, turn 6, and then down turn 7 and onto the very, very long Mistral Straight with DRS enabled. This is going to be one of the prime opportunities on the track for overtaking in the race as you head down into the Montreal chicane, turn number 8 and 9. Through the left there, want to get the best exit possible here to try and set yourself up for the, I would have to say, the second best overtaking zone on the track as you head down the continuation of the Mistral Straight into the fast and fearsome left-hander Senior, turn number 10. In 2018, we saw Mohammed Patel and Alexander Arnold collide on the final lap of the race here. Very, very eventful as you head through turn number 11, Beausset, and then through sector 3 as you head through the more fast and flowing corners of Bendor and Garlabon, and then into the final 2 corners through into Lac, turn number 14, a flowing left-hander, but it's a bit more slower, and then through the braking zone of Pont, and then it is just a sprint to the line for Daniel Wallace. He's going to go across the line. It is going to be a 1:40.8 for the Alfa Romeo driver, and that is a lap of the Paul Ricard circuit, as the times will now come in on the board.
Yeah, Emmy Nielsen just places him going 2/10 faster now. He takes provisional pole at the moment, being the second of the runners. Strong showing from the Estonian, but I reckon he will go faster on his second run. Sachinitsky, the Ferrari driver, goes fastest again by 2/10 as well. And look at Farina. Wow, 1:41.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there on the Italian's lap, but he just doesn't seem to have been able to nail it. Maybe he's made a mistake somewhere on his lap, as Jesper Johansson with a 1:39.9. He's the only man in the 1:39s at the moment. Tomas Mandic behind Laban Sosnishkai and his former teammate Wojtek Kulisek. Alexander Arnold has gone faster than the Serbian at the moment, so nice stuff there from Arnold. So yeah, pretty good to see.
Yeah, he's outperformed his teammate so far once again, but still has to go. It's still early showings, and not even half of them have set their laps. Here's Fernando Tost, the McLaren driver. The pole finishes in 6th currently at the moment. It's okay showing for now. He's about a couple hundredths off Mandic, which is pretty ideal. McIntyre is slower than Farina, which isn't going to help him.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Lewis as Cherezhny now goes across the line in 10th. It's going to be down to 8th as Dennis Graf now sets his lap waiting for one of the car across the line. That is Alfred Klaus, who hasn't set his lap time yet. Daniel Walla improves up into 11th. As there is Ennis Parachki. It was Parachki actually. Klaus had already set his lap, but yeah, that's all the first 15 times on the board then. Ennis Parachki currently leads his teammate Jesper Johansson, and your bottom 5 at the moment is Emil Nilsson, followed by Franco Gamba, Daniel Wale, Luca Farina, and Lewis McIntyre. So Alfred Klaus, only 10th it is for him at the moment, and you've got one Renault, a McLaren, and a Ferrari currently in the bottom 5.
Yeah, it's really strange showings from these drivers because they're all capable of getting into Q3, and we've seen it in their times that we've seen in qualify 1. So to see them down there, Alpha Klaus doesn't improve, or he does improve, but he doesn't get himself out of 10th. So he could be in danger if he doesn't improve anytime soon, because those drivers with 1 minute 41s, they're not 1 minute 41 capable. They probably made a mistake or traffic. So if they set clean lap times, then Alpha Klaus might be in trouble.
Indeed, but one man who is really enjoying himself right now at the moment is Wojtek Kurasek, all the way up in 3rd for Renault, as one Renault is struggling, the other one is having a very good time as McIntyre is going to go across the line. It's only 14th for the McLaren. What's happened?
Oh no! Oh whoa! That's not going to be good. Kai Cherezhny, he's going to go across the line. He currently stays in 9th. Franco Gamba, he wants to join his team and doesn't. He goes up to 4th.
Yeah, that's looking a lot better for Renault as Gamba has gone himself up to 4th ahead of Dennis Graf. So very, very good lap for the 2 Renault drivers as we're now looking at Alfred Klaus, who is now in the elimination zone. And it's looking a bit hairy for the Swede, who currently obviously will be fighting Ennis Parachki for 3rd in the championship, but Parachki currently is fastest at the moment in Q2, not looking very good for Klaus.
Yeah, Klaus and Parachki are currently on equal points in the standings now, so whoever can get the better edge or the better result here in this case would definitely help their constructors' charge. But Alfred Klaus comes up out of the final corner. He really needs to improve, because I don't think if he's not going to improve in this run, he won't improve. And he does it, but it's just only 9th though.
Yeah, he's just getting minuscule improvements in right now.
And he's still not safe. He's still not safe because Tost and Cherezhny, they're still a couple of tenths off. And if they improve, then Klaus is in trouble.
Yeah, indeed, it's gonna be tough for Alfred Klaus as Nilsson and Wall, as we now tick as the clock is about 1.5 minutes to go. Nilsson and Wall are now confirmed out of Q2, and McIntyre's coming as well. That is quite the shocker. Lewis McIntyre will not be advancing through into Q3, so I think Klaus must be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief there, as Cherezhny is now going to go across the line. Kai Cherezhny does not improve.
Ooh. Oh dear. That's very unfortunate there for the Polish driver. Parechki's into the pits as well. Everyone's kind of pitting prematurely. They've probably all went out a bit too early. That they can't set their laps as the clocks wind down. We've still got a couple of on track now. Johansson is 4 tenths behind his teammate Parechki, even though it is still qualifying 2. I'm sure he probably wants to make a statement to his teammate, and will probably be the case as he enters into the final few corners here in Sector 3, outside of the lap corner, down into turn 15 of Pont, and he's going to come out on the start-finish straight. Will it be in a bit of an improvement for Johansson? The Swede does improve, but he only stays in second. Oh, he doesn't? Sorry. He stays in second at the moment.
No, he did.
He did.
As Klaus is going to go across the line. No improvement for Alfred Klaus. What is going on with the Red Bull driver? But yeah, I have to say, very good lap for Ennis Parachki though. He's 3 tenths ahead of Jesper Johansson at the moment. So yeah, things are maybe looking to be on the rise for Ennis Parachki, who has had a bit of a, I have to say, has had a bit of a struggle.
Qualifying's over, and Fernando Tost improves and goes up to 8th. Oh, whoa, and that's it.
Yeah, that is it for Q2 then. And oh well, the order is completely reshuffled, but Yeah, we'll get it somewhere.
Yeah, so the
Yeah, the thing broke. It's not Daniel Waller who's gone fastest, but it should be, if I'm not mistaken, it should be Enes Prowaczki who's fastest, and your bottom 5 will be Kai Trezhnia, followed by Emil Nilsson, Daniel Waller, Lewis McIntyre, and Luca Farina.
yeah.
So yeah, Alfred Klaus very, very lucky to make it in. It has to be said.
Yeah, it's especially all the drivers that we've seen here in the bottom. I think I could be wrong, but I think that some of them actually set faster times in qualifying 1 than they did in qualifying 2, which, given the circumstance of qualifying 2, is a bit. It's quite unusual, really, but especially, but sometimes it could be given because it's a slightly shorter qualifying session. They don't have enough time to, I don't know, get accustomed to the track surface as much in time, though. But yeah, some surprise ones there. Emmy Nielsen, who has shown strong qualifying pace in qualifying 1, is out in qualifying 2. Same with Chereznia, and only one of the Ferraris of Luca Farina is out as well, which isn't going to help him as well.
Yeah, it's a shame to see. It's a shame to see Nilsson out of there, and same with Cherezny, obviously, who was quite good in qualifying in these past few rounds. And Farina as well, down in 15th, not looking too good for Ferrari, but at least one Ferrari will have made it in. As we're now here for Q3, the pole shootout will begin here at Paul Ricard, and Dennis Graf, eager to go out. It will be the first man out, and Enes Prowaczki there in the background will go out too. The two Red Bulls have actually gone out at the exact same time here, so it might get a bit iffy as they were literally battling coming out of the pit lane. I don't know what Red Bull tried when they sent out both their cars at the exact same time, but this is the result.
That was a jump scare. I did not actually expect both Red Bulls. I didn't expect one Red Bull to come out of the other. That scared me at first. But now they're going to go ahead and fight on the outlap.
I've never seen this before in qualifying ever, where you have two cars going out at the exact same time, like they just did. And yeah, Dennis Graf has been won't be too happy about Alfred Klaus overtaking him on the outlap. But hey, I guess it is good tire warm up.
Yeah, I suppose so. As long as they don't fight during their laps, though, that's the most important thing. Because if they fight, it's definitely not going to give them any chances of a pole position, especially the laps that Paritsky and Johansson are saying. So those two really do need to cooperate throughout this lap, though. And if it happens, well, we'll see.
It's gonna be interesting to see how this will play out for the two Red Bull drivers, as hopefully they won't be battling, but I think either way, one of them is going to lose time on their flying lap.
And then one of them might gain, but we'll see, because this is kind of a bit of a balanced track, because you got two consecutive straights, which benefits from the slipstream, but you've also got medium high speed corners, quite a few of them, which makes them go slower because of the dirty air that's produced from the car ahead of you. So we'll see how it turns out for the Red Bull. We'll see if this very, very bold strategy of sending both cars out pays off.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see then, as Graf heads through Sector 1, and at the moment doesn't look like he's being held up, so he could maybe have a good helping his slipstream. Might this have been the right call for Red Bull?
We'll see. He needs to be able to build a big enough distance in order for the slipstream effect to take in place. But not just for this straight as well. It's the straight next one after the Montreal chicane as well, which will also need to have a good gap. The gap looks pretty good at the moment. Dennis Graf is currently 45.4 on the first sector, I think it is. Heading out of the Montreal chicane, it looks pretty fine to me. I think it might actually pull off, Moran.
Yeah, I think it might actually work as we head down the Mistral Straight into Senior. It's gonna get a bit hairy though through Sector 3, and he's gonna go for it into Bosse, and I think that might have ruined his lap. I think that might have thrown Dennis Graf off. He might have lost a tenth or two there, but yeah, we'll see if he's gonna be able to make it up through the last couple of corners.
The last couple of corners are pretty much dirty air haven for Dennis Graf
Uh,
being behind.
if I just could interrupt you for a second,
Go ahead.
Dennis Graf has actually gone fastest in the speed trap, heading down the start-finish straight. So I think this might work for Red Bull as Graf goes across the line, and he's not actually faster than Klaus due to that little incident. And
Tureczki, just because it says 1 minute 38.9.
Oh, we were hyping that up.
What? 1 minute 38.9.
We were
7/10 faster.
We were absolutely hyping the Red Bull strategy up, only for Ennis Parachki to absolutely decimate that lap time. Thank you, Ennis. But yeah, a 1:38.913 was a lap for Ennis Parachki. Honestly, I think that might be the pole lap. But
I'm lost for words.
let's not. Yeah,
I'm honestly lost for words. That's almost as impressive as his Italy lap. Look, not even Johansson can get into the 1 minute 38. That's how much of a great lap Parechki's lap is. And I think that is pole position sealed and done, because I don't think any driver can top that or even have the equipment to do what Parechki does. I think when it comes to qualifying sessions like these, I think Parechki might just be the best in the world. And Alexander Arnold goes a 1 minute 39.
Indeed, Ennis on his day is
he splits the two Red Bulls.
Yeah, wow, what a lap for Alexander Arnold. It's a 1:39.614. He's actually gone ahead of Dennis Graf. This is horrible news, and what worse stroke of luck to have the Red Bull sister car be ahead of you. But Graf and Klaus will now go across the line. Labas Asnishka is the final man across the line. He cannot improve, though, as he will stay in 10th, with the only man being in the 140s. So Ferrari not looking too good around this track. Obviously a very, very engine-heavy track this is, and Ferrari, who haven't got the greatest power plant in the back of their cars, do struggle a bit around here. But Jesper Johansson obviously will be gunning for that pole position here.
Yeah, he really is, as he enters into the third sector now. But Parechki's gone to the pits. I think he might be out for another run later on, but we shall see as the time starts ticking down. Under 2 minutes left to go now. The Swedish driver, he
does improve.
Yeah, he does, but still not within the 1 minute 38 though. And it's Parechki's out once again now. I wonder how he's going to improve this time, but he's done it before whenever it seemed almost impossible. The only man that can topple Ennis Parechki's time is Parechki himself. Alexander Arnold heads into the pits. He won't have enough time, I don't think, to complete a second run. Mandic, so he's going to cross the line. He's currently in 9th, and he stays 9th as well, which is pretty interesting there for the Racing Point driver to stay there.
Yeah, Racing Point aren't looking too good. You would see Mandic obviously in the top 6 at least, but that's not the case right now, as Franco Gamba currently in 6th as well, and then you got Fernando Tosper in the 2 McLarens, but Alexander Arnold is going to be the dark horse here in qualifying.
Yeah, I think Renault here will have a pretty strong showing here for qualifying, as Graf goes ahead and displaces Klaus for 3rd. So that strategy did eventually work out in the end, but I don't think it's not enough though to displace the 2 Mercedes front row lockout. Well, it eventually did work in the end for Graf, as both Red Bulls drivers have now finally got ahead of the AlphaTauri driver of Alexander Arnold, and the Renault driver of.
Yeah, he goes across the line, does not improve. Sorry for cutting in there. But yeah, as we're now reaching 20 seconds on the clock, things will be getting tense here.
Yeah, I think you're right about the both Renault drivers being dark horses, because they've both shown pace so far this qualifying session here. And for the French outfit, the French team in their French Grand Prix, they'll surely have a lot of morale here to do very well for results, especially given the position that they're in. A very good points haul is exactly what they'll need. Gambus currently stays in 6th as the qualifying session is currently over. Thomas Mandic, he's still at 9th, which is very odd for the Croatian, as we've said, given his positions earlier on in the season. He stays in 9th, which is I'm still surprised from that. Sasnitsky, he's currently last. He's the only driver in qualifying 3 to have not set a sub 1 minute 40. That's worrying signs for Ferrari. They won't be. I don't think if that's the case, they won't be able to hold into their point scoring position for long. He's got the Red Bulls behind him. I think that was Graf going into the pits there. So Znicki goes and stays 10th, and Klaus goes ahead and goes up into 3rd.
Yeah, now this is getting interesting. Alfred Klaus has got himself ahead of Dennis Graf. So the Red Bulls are looking at least a bit better, as Wojtek Kulasek is now going to round the final couple of corners. Let's see if the man from 8th will be able to set an improvement as he rounds turn number 15, and he is into the pit lane. So yeah, what about Dennis Parachi? Can he extend his advantage over the field at the moment, as the Macedonian will come across the line, and it is not an improvement for Parachi? What about Jesper Johansson? If he is going to be able to take the pole away from his teammate as he goes across the line? No, it's no improvement for Jesper Johansson, and thus I do think it is going to be the pole for Enes Parachi, as Franco Gamba will round the final corner. It's going to be the final man across the line as he is into the pit lane, and we're just waiting for the confirmation. Wait for it. Wait for it. And oh no, Mandic is still gonna cross the line. As let's see if Thomas Mandic can improve as he goes across the line.
He does. Oh no, he doesn't.
Doesn't. He does not improve. And there it is. So for the French Grand Prix, it will be Enis Parachi on pole position.
Well, the Macedonian driver surely has provided a very amazing, spectacular pole position lap once again, ahead of his teammate Jesper Johansson. But most importantly, both of the Mercedes drivers are ahead of the Red Bulls. So it will be a front row Mercedes 1-2, and it'll be a second row Red Bull 3-4. But yeah, special mentions go to Alexander Arnold and Franco Gamba for their respective teams. They go ahead in 5th and 6th respectively. So given their positions that they are in, it'll provide very vital for the race.
Yeah, indeed. Really just lovely performance from Enis Parachi in qualifying. Once again, he pulls out an absolutely incredible qualifying performance. But obviously it is the race where the points will be dished out, and that is where it is going to matter. And we'll see, especially at the Mercedes camp, we'll see what is going to come out of play there, because I think Johansson fighting for the championship between Dennis Graf, and then you got obviously Klaus starting ahead of Graf as well. So things could get interesting there. Indeed, I definitely do think it is.
Yeah, and we've seen it before. The nature of the Polo Ricard track circuit as well. This one is known for having so many battles, which can influence the entire field. If one battle happens on front, then there's bound to be a battle to happen behind, because it's a track where it just gathers everyone all together. And if you're out of your racing line, you can either be rewarded for having a bold overtake, or you can be punished severely, as we've seen before.
Indeed, it's gonna get very, very interesting to see. But yeah, previous race winners at this track. First time we came here in 2018, it would be Jesper Johansson who would claim the race win, I believe. Yeah, it was a very, very chaotic race, but yeah, he would win, not from pole position. That pole position would go to Alexander Arnold, but he wouldn't go on to finish the race due to his collision with Mohammed Patel. But yeah, Johansson would take the race win at the first ever French Grand Prix. But for the second one, it would be Dennis Graf who would take the race win. And Enis Parachi would be on pole position here. He was on pole position last year, and he's now at it again. So yeah, he holds the most poles for any driver on this track.
So I wonder if this will be the time we'll see for the first time, if someone from pole position will actually go ahead and finish the line in first. I wonder. We shall see as the French Grand Prix slowly starts to get underway, as the grid will start to prepare. But yeah, so Enis Parachi is currently in a favourable position at the moment, given his pole position. But as we've said before, the race here is full of attrition, and it's definitely a one not to miss.
Yeah, indeed, it's gonna be quite interesting to see what is gonna happen. France obviously does generate a lot of good and exciting racing, so we'll see what is gonna happen then. As yes, we are here then for the French Grand Prix and for the starting grid then before lights out for the French GP. It is Enes Parachki on pole position. That is the Macedonians, I believe, third pole position of the season. No, fourth. Okay, he's on pole position for the French Grand Prix, and accompanying him on the front row, it is his teammate Jesper Johansson in second place. The two Red Bulls of Alfred Klaus and Dennis Graf will be third and fourth, with Alexander Arnold. Incredible qualifying for the German, as he will be starting in P5, with Franco Gamba in sixth position for Renault. Fernando Tost will be starting seventh, with the other Renault, Wojtek Kulasek, in ninth, and then it will be Tomas Mandic Kulasek is eighth and Mandic is ninth. Sorry for all the mistakes, but Laban Zasniczkai will be rounding out the top 10.
The second of the Race Report drivers of Kai Chereznia, the Polish driver, will start in 11th, and following beside him is Emmy Nilsson. The second of the Scuderia AlphaTauri drivers, he's shown very fast, but he starts in 12th for today's race. Daniel Vara can be pretty okay with that performance here. He's ahead of some notable names. He starts in 13th for the Chinese driver. Behind him, the British of Lewis McIntyre. He needs to do very well in order to take the lead of the midfield battle, as the McLaren driver starts in 14th. Luca Farina, the Ferrari driver, is in 15th. Disappointing for that Italian there. And then following behind him, it's a 16th and 17th of the two Williams. Julie Tassetti outplaces Jean-Frederic Suto for 16th and 17th respectively. Emi Kozinski, the second of the Alfa Romeos, the Polish woman, finishes starts in 18th. And then following behind her, it's the last row lockout of Victor Albon, in 19th for the Danish and 20th for Jafari Blackwood for the Jamaican.
Yeah, so let's go down to the grid then. Enes Parachki on pole position here at Paul Ricard as the 6 lights are coming on for the French Grand Prix. And we're underway here at France. Good start for Parachki, same for Johansson, but Klaus there in the background could maybe try something on the Swedish world champion heading into turn 1 as the two Rebels are side by side. There goes Klaus. He had a look on the inside line, but Johansson has other ideas as he's going to try to get his teammate for the race lead here. Heading through turn 2, the two Mercedes go side by side down into turn number 3. Johansson is going to have the outside line, but will that be the better line heading through turn 3? He does it. Jesper Johansson takes the race lead of the French Grand Prix as Graf and Klaus fighting away for third position as the Red Bulls go wheel to wheel through turn number 6. Graf is there on the inside line. Klaus, though, defends from Dennis Graf.
That's really weird, but very amazing there for Johansson to outcome that place, and he takes pole as well. But Graf is going to still go ahead and fight off with Klaus now. He's going to get the inside line of Montreal Chicane. I think that might be the fastest one, and if it isn't, then he has enough speed. Oh no, that's Arnold!
And it's Arnold. He's been tagged by the McLaren of Fernando Tost. They went 3 wide into the chicane. I think Tost just tried to squeeze in a gap that wasn't there. But there's Dennis Graf on the inside line of Alfred Klaus heading through Beausset. He gets it done on his teammate. There's Wale side by side with Kulasek, and Giulia Cesetti is into the points. She's running P9, and look at this almighty battle heading on in the midfield.
And all this has happened because Fernando Tost once again has another first lap collision. This time it's for Alexander Arnold, as I believe he has retired, which is very unfortunate there. No, he's currently in 12th. Sorry, my apologies. It's Fernando Tost that retired, which is very disappointing there for the McLaren driver, though. Well, everyone has just been huddled up because of this collision now, and there's so many positions to lose and gain here. But Luca Farina comes off the worst of it, down in 17th as well.
Yeah, not nice for Luca Farina as we see the two Haas cars battling away.
Oh no,
for what is... Oh, okay, no, problem solved. As... sorry everyone, but yeah, the two Haas cars battling away. There is Schuto onto Nilsson as we head into turn number 1. You can see how many cars are just battling away with each other. It's absolutely incredible on the first lap here as Schuto is there on the inside line of Nilsson heading into turn 3. The Estonian should have the better line heading into turn number 3 though, and he does so, and he's going to defend his 14th place away from Josef Fredrik Schutter for the time being, as Albom having a look on the inside of McIntyre. The two are going to go wheel to wheel. Lewis really has been falling down the order as Victor Albom had a look on the inside line, but it's going to be compromised on exit here.
Yeah, you can see as well just how much the collision has an impact as well, because between Valle and Mandic as well, it's nearly 3 seconds, and we're only into lap 2 as well. So it does show that this collision here has a profound impact now, as the two Hasses are going to go wheel to wheel once again for the Montreal chicane, with Album just ahead of front of Blackwood, but Blackwood is still going to be behind. He's going to use the slipstream as well. He's going to weave in and out. He's going to look for the outside. No, he doesn't. He's going to look for the insides ahead to the high speed corner.
And the two go side by side, Album round the outside. What a battle between the two Haas cars, but Jafari gets it done on his more experienced teammates. So nice stuff then from Blackwood, who goes up into 18th. But looking at the race lead, Jesper Johansson now leads by a second from his teammate Parachki, and Parachki himself leads by a second from Graf, who himself leads by a second, or 1.4 seconds from Alfred Klaas. So that the top four is really spaced out.
Yeah, and this is going to be very bad for those four collectively, because they're not going to have the benefit of the DRS, which is now enabled, and they're all within a second away, which is just about out of the DRS range. So unless if any of them can actually close up, then you can expect them to actually pace out a bit more in the coming stages.
Yeah, no, this is going to get interesting to see, as Enes Parachki has actually closed down the gap a tiny bit. He is within DRS range, as Jesper Johansson has had the fastest lap of the race. But I wonder if we could get a replay of what happened to Tost, because we didn't see the entire thing of it. As we look at Kai Chereznia, we're going to see the replay now. As there is Alexander Arnold. This was on...
I mean, it was just such a heartbreak for the drivers that were involved, not just for Arnold and Tost, but for those behind, because it's such a not unforgiving corner, but it is such a tight corner as well, that there's really not much that the cars can do, especially while being out on track. But let's see.
And he just went for it on the final corner. Yeah, no, I can understand the issue there. I mean, Alex would never have seen him. It was Alex. Yeah, he would have never seen him heading into the corner, obviously, and considering he was ahead, it was his right as well. So I think maybe a penalty might be in place for Tost, but he is also DNF, so I don't know how that will be applied, as Shuto now defends from Luca Farina for 15th position, and there's Jafari Blackwood trying to get past Lewis McIntyre. We're going to watch Farina, though, as he's going to go to the inside line of Josef Frederic Shuto into Senior. The two will go side by side, as the Ferrari driver is going to be on the inside line of the Williams, and he gets it done. Same with Jafari Blackwood onto Lewis McIntyre. Nice stuff from the F2 champion. Yeah,
and McIntyre, I think, will now be under issue now from Album as well. He looks pretty fast as well. Maybe look to overtake the Brit as well. Now, Parachki is still very close to Johansson as well, so they better need to make this battle quick, because currently at the moment they're both in a favourable position, because the Red Bulls is just about out of the DRS range currently at the moment. But if they continue this battle on for any profound slightly longer, then we can expect to see Graf and maybe Klaus join into this battle here for P1 here.
Yes, Enes Parachki has just kicked it into gear out of absolutely nowhere. Running a bit wide though, but he has at the fast lap of the race compared to Jesper Johansson. So I think Enes wants that race lead back.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. But Parachki's got the DRS range once again. Behind them, Graf is also just close enough for the DRS range as well. So he's definitely going to be joining into the battle sooner than later as well. They're going to head straight into the Montreal chicane. There's no any moves from the Macedonian driver just yet on the Swede at the moment. Meanwhile, the back there, Sessetti is still holding into 9th. And with Kai Chereznia and Shazhnitsky also behind her as well, it's pretty impressive to see that Williams driver actually hold on to that place.
Yeah, nice stuff from Chisetti as we're looking at Victor Album is going to try it on Lewis McIntyre down the inside, heading into the Montreal chicane, into turn 11 though. He goes for the switchback, has a look on the Brit, but he's going to get a far better run heading into Senior. He has a look on the outside, he goes to the inside line, and will he make it stick heading into turn 10? The two go side by side, Album has the inside, McIntyre dropping like a stone, and Victor gets it done. So
that was a strong overtake, I must say. That was really, really good and very well done. Ooh, I think that was Parechki just outside of the racing line just a little bit as well. Maybe having a look at Johansson there coming out the final corner now. It's going to have DRS range once again, but as we mentioned before, Graf now has got DRS range as well himself. Klaus might also have DRS range as well. Also, Gamba as well is joining in for this fight as well. He's not pulling away as such. Virtue's got a pretty bad exit out of turn 2 as well, and that's going to be a big problem now because Graf has now managed to catch up to him.
Yeah, Dennis Graf might go for it, not into turn 3, but yeah, you mentioned Franco Gamba. He just set the fast lap of the race, which is absolutely incredible.
What?
Yeah, he did, which is absolutely incredible to see for the Renault driver. So we'll see if he could maybe be a factor in all this, as Parachki will now be chasing down Johansson heading into the Montreal chicane, and you can see Graf is closing in. Klaus is there just about, and Gamba could get involved into this as well, which is something I never thought I'd be saying this season, but here we are. As now you can see how, yeah.
It's good. That Renault driver, though, has been, the Renault car, actually, in general here in Paul Ricard, has been absolutely phenomenal so far in this race, though. So it's really good to see Gamba still in the midst of the battle, though. Parachki is still over the back of Johansson, though. He doesn't try to make a move on the turn 15 just yet. But, sorry, turn 10, and then head down to turn 11. Kai Trescia's going to have his look now. Julia Cisetti now, her chances of staying in P9 is over as the Racing Point uses sheer power to go ahead and takes 9th.
Yeah, not a lot Cisetti could have done there, as Blackwood wrestles his way past Josef Frederick Schuto for 16th, and Schuto immediately will not be able to rest as he's got Victor Albom for company. The Hasses are making quite the charge to the field.
Yeah, they actually are. I'm really impressed from the performances that we've had here. And here we are. There's still in the same battle. Still, once again, we're in lap 6 of lap 30, though. And they're still in the midst of fight, and it doesn't look to be anytime soon to be over as well, as Dennis Graf once again benefits from Parachki's poor defense, and now here it comes once again. It's going to try and go for the inside line, which isn't the fastest one. He still has his look, though, and Parachki is just about holding into second for his dear life, but meanwhile, down to the inside goes Alfred Klaus. He's going to have a look down for the inside as they're heard down into turn 7 now. Sorry, turn 5. I had out turn 6, and now down to turn 7, and all this, and Franco Gamba's got the DRS range, and he might be looking to join the fight now. Look, they're nearly going to go 3 wide, Myran.
It's going to be 3 wide heading down to the Montreal chicane. Is this going to work? As we've seen on
DRS range. What's going to happen? Is there going to be another collision as we've seen earlier on? No, it doesn't. Franco Gamba is actually smart this time and backs out just at the last minute now. But the 2 Red Bulls are going to go side by side with Alfred Klaus going just ahead. And Dennis Graf is now under trouble from the Renault driver of Franco Gamba.
What a monumental battle we're seeing here, as Franco Gamba is now pressuring Dennis Graf for 4th position, but there's one of the Renault who's going to be under pressure, as Kai Trescia is going to be on the inside line. They're 3 wide almost, and Kulasek is going to
just backs up in the last minute as well. Kulasek just holds on and overtakes Valle for 7th.
That was so close. Oh my goodness. But Vojta Kulasek, take a bow. That was an incredible overtake, as he's gotten it done onto Daniel Wale.
Yeah, and the Red Mercedes have just got just a little bit of breathing room now after the battle between Klaus and Graf now. This is absolutely amazing. I can't believe we're already in lap 7 and we're already seeing probably one of the most exciting races so far this season. And Parachki is still over the back of Jesper Johansson. The Swedish driver is still not giving it in to the Macedonian driver just yet. He's got a bit of a better run though, but I don't think any position changes will currently be made here because he's kind of not just close enough, but I think he might still be close enough for the front straight.
Yeah, Johansson calm and collected as always. We'll see what Ennis is going to be able to do heading down the start-finish straight. Then you got the battle for P3 there as well between Klaus Graf and Gamba in the Renault. So we'll see what's going to happen there. But heading down the back straight then, is Parashi close enough? I don't think he is. No.
And neither is the Red Bulls either to make their moves anytime soon. And meanwhile, here in the battle, Kai Trescian is going to have a look his move, and Daniel Valle is doing really good to hold that position. He's currently held for so long, though. It goes a bit wide out of the Montreal chicane, and he's going to keep it in the inside for this turn 8 now. But Trescian's got a bit of speed, though. But she's taking Cisetti with him, and I think Cisetti might actually try to make a move in Kai Trescian.
Yeah, Cisetti could try and pick up the scraps here from this battle. Cherezhnia and Wale will go side by side. Daniel's going to lose out there, and Cisetti might try something into Bose. Cisetti does get blocked off a bit. There's Victor Albom past Josef Frederick Schuto, and another Haas driver now gets past the Williams driver.
Yes, Sutu got blocked there by Album at the exit of turn 10 it was. That was pretty good, very good place in there from Album to make sure that position sticks as he takes 17 at the moment there. Pavechki, I don't think is still not close enough to Johansson though. Still like still within half a second, but it's still not close enough. They still got very good breathing room though from Alfred Klaus though, and I think with Graf also very close as well. Those battles are sure to happen anytime soon, I think. But yeah, Enes Paratski is still currently second, and Jesper Johansson still first.
Indeed, but yeah, Johansson doing very, very well. Dennis Groff, though, has at the fast lap of the race now. So this could be very interesting. We could maybe see the Red Bull of Dennis Groff join the fight for the lead between the two Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, but in order for that to happen, we have to see him overtake Alpha Class for that to happen, as Paritsky just once again tries to go for the inside line now, but then Scraps tries to make a move on Alpha Class now, and that'll probably allow for Alpha Gamma now to make a move. He's going to switch back to the inside, the outside. No, he's going to go for the inside now, down into turn 10 now. It will actually work this time. He needs to build up enough speed to make it work now. They're going to go side by side, but no, Dennis Graf actually does it, and he gets himself up to third.
Lovely stuff from Dennis Groff, and Kai Chereznia, he is not done. He was 11th, only a few laps to go, and he is already up into 7th. What great drive from Kai Chereznia so far, and the Polish driver brings himself up into 7th.
Yeah, it's Emmy Nielsen and Alexander Arnold. I can't believe I'm saying this, but they're out of the points, which is a pretty stark contrast in comparison to qualifying. Indeed, Alexander Arnold came off the worst of the collision there, which made him lost some positions, but he's not actually gaining any ground, unlike the rest of the drivers I was looking with Kai Cherezny and etc. Dennis Graf, though, is 1.4 seconds between him and Enes Paratski, so he's got some ways to go in order to build up into a DRS range, which will allow him to enter into the battle here for between the two Mercedes drivers, but they're still not giving it an inch, and it still looks like there'll be a battle in the cards some point soon.
Yeah, they've really just been pushing each other, I have to say. And Dennis Groff, who once again was at the fast lap of the race and is now in a bit more clean air, I think he could try and push to catch up to these two guys. But obviously, one thing that he doesn't have is the DRS, so he might still have Alfred Klaus for company there behind.
Yeah, we shall see though. But his main benefits for that to happen, in order to catch up at such a great rate, is if the battle between the two Mercedes is going to come together. Meanwhile, Koznitsky is trying to make the move, and Alexander Arnold as well. The Alfa Romeo driver versus these AlphaTauri driver as well. Ooh, that was nearly a touch there. That was Blackwood on Luca Farina. I think they did collide just a little bit there, but Blackwood managed to keep it on track.
Yeah, very good stuff from Jafari Blackwood. He's going to go to the inside of Luca down the inside line of Alexander Arnold. There is Jafari Blackwood, and he's actually got the move done on the Ferrari. Bravo, Jafari Blackwood.
The man that started in 20th is now up into 15th. In the space of 10 laps, he's managed to gain 5 positions, and he looks like he's still climbing. I think this is probably an amazing performance that we've seen from the Jamaican so far this season.
Yeah, incredible stuff from Jafari Blackwood, has to be said. So far as we're looking at Paratski still chasing down
Johansson. You can see that Graf has actually caught up a bit as well. He actually gained 2/10 from the last lap as well. So it is working. That clean air that he's benefiting from the medium to long corners is actually benefiting him, as well as a lack of battle with his teammate behind him. So I think there's a chance that Graf might actually join in this mix for P1 for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's going to happen then, as Paratski is once again in the DRS range of Johansson, heading into the Montreal chicane. No moves tried yet, but he is looking seriously close heading out of the chicane.
Yeah, he really is. He's all over in the back of him. He's still 3/10 behind him now. Meanwhile, Sejnitsky is trying to make a move on Sassetti. Is the Williams dream is going to be over? Their chance to have both drivers score points may soon come to an end, as Sassetti defends for her life on the Serbian driver behind, and probably will try to make Ferrari score there, well, in the only point-scoring position, regarding Luca Farina's unfortunate luck currently at the moment, though. It's going to go down for the inside line of turn 10, and I think it might actually work because that Ferrari power is just so much better than the aerodynamics of the Williams, and the Ferrari driver does it, and he gets himself up to 10th.
Yeah, the point stream for Chisetti might just be over, as Laban Zasnishkai does get back into the points positions, but yeah, nice start from Laban as well on the recovery, as we...
Oh, whoa, Franco Gamba. No, it's sorry. I thought that was an overtake on him. Saw.
No. But Gamba, I have to say, props to him for being able to stick with these guys. I have to say.
He's actually still within the DRS range, so he can still come off better. In fact, all of them within the top 5 are still in the DRS range, so they're all going to be huddled up together. And that also does mean Graf is going to have the DRS advantage in this lap as well. And considering that the pace he's been setting in the last couple, it's going to be his chance to shine now, as he's going to look to challenge for Enes Parachki for P2.
Yeah, Parachki has been trying to get for the race lead, but I feel at this pace, he might just lose it out to Graf. So I think Dennis Graf might try to push for the race lead. And mind you, if Graf and Johansson do battle, that is not going to be only the fight for the. That's not only going to be the fight for the win. It's also going to be the fight for the lead of the championship, because those points could determine who comes out on top after this round.
Yeah, absolutely as well. So the Mercedes do have a lot to play for in regards to it, because they can actually, if they currently stay in the position that they're in, they'll take not only the lead in the drivers but a lead in the constructors, and that's pretty vital for them for sure, because especially in the half of the races, as we see Alexander Arnold and Koznicki just battle out once again now. I think the Ferrari driver Nielsen might actually join in for the fight as well, and Koznicki just goes a bit wide. That'll allow for Nielsen to join into the battle now as they head outside. I think the Estonia will just go a bit wide, but it doesn't actually work. No, it's not quite enough speed though, as Emmy Nielsen stays in 14th.
Yeah, nice stuff from Alexander Arnold for being able to retaliate. Nilsson, though, doesn't have the best of runs. He's got Jafari Blackwood there for company, who is trying to make a move on the Estonian driver, as Enes Parachki still looking really, really close to the back of Jesper Johansson.
Yeah, so this position here, this battle here that we're looking for is a battle for both championships at this right now. So currently Johansson is probably in the best position that he's in at the moment for him to take the championship lead very comfortably. But Enes Parachki is going to have a look down the inside of Montreal now. Finally he tries to make the move, but unfortunately it does not work. He's not actually very close enough.
I think it could work though. I think it definitely could work.
Oh my god, he's got the slipstream now. He's going to go for the outside now, down to the inside now. It's going to go for turn Temeran.
Yeah, and there he's gonna go down the inside of Jesper Johansson. Senior, can Johansson hold on into Beausset? He can't, and Enes Parachki retakes the lead of the French Grand Prix. Wonderful stuff from Enes, but Jesper won't be too happy about that.
No, definitely not, especially all that battle now has kind of left him a bit in the dust now, because now he's closer behind Graf than Parachki ever was now, and Graf has now got the DRS range now. But look at this battle here for P13 though, Koznicki and the two Jafari Blackwood still making his charge on the run on Emmy Nielsen as well, as they're going to go through third sector.
Yeah, Nilsson is facing heavy pressure from Jafari Blackwood of all people. Really, really well done from Jafari this race, it has to be said, as Jesper not willing to let that race lead go, as he is chasing down Parachki then through the first sector. We look at the midfield now, as Kulasek is chasing down Kai Cherezhny to try and get back up into 7th position. You've got Wale and Zasnishkai involved in that battle as well.
Yeah, you can see as well, like, between Cherezhny and Mandic as well. Mandic is not actually getting up to the front pack, so the front pack are pulling away at such an astonishing rate. And keep in mind that the front pack includes Franco Gamba, the Renault driver, and I'm pretty amazed by that. But no, Cherezhny has got quite a ways to go, especially 7-second gap as well. So that 7th position is going to be quite deadly, especially with the lack of DRS range.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible to see, but Johansson, he just isn't close enough to Parachki heading down the heading down into turn 10, but someone who is getting close is Emil Nilsson onto Emilia Konechina, as his teammate Arnold was able to get past the Polish woman, and Nilsson will try and do much of the same, as he's going to be there on the inside line. There is Luca Farina onto Jafari Blackwood, but the two go side by side. Nilsson down the inside of Emilia Konechina, and Nilsson...
And Farina does it as well. Oh no, they're still side by side, and yeah, he does it. Luca Farina goes ahead and displaces Blackwood. The Farina is up into P15 for the Scuderia for our driver.
Yeah, very well done then, as we're looking at Wojtek Kulasek, who is chasing down Kai Cherezhnia, but right now to no avail, as currently hasn't been able to make a move on him. But as we did see with Parachki, patience will be key here.
Yeah, this is pretty... I must admit, this is so far been a pretty great race so far. I mean, everyone's just also close up together. I think this is probably the first time in quite a while we haven't seen the lead driver pull away from the rest of the pack, but more so it's like the top 5 are still like within a few seconds of each other, and they're still like pulling away, but it's still like a battle among battles.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, as there is Kulasek now with the DRS on Kai Cherezhnia. Will he be able to get past the racing point in Renault's home race? We wanted to deliver as he goes to the inside line. Trial, the two are going to be side by side and through turn 9. Let's see if he's going to have the overspeed on the Polish driver. I don't think he does. Heading into senior. Will he try anything?
No,
yes, he does. He goes for it. Late lunge from Wojtek Kulasek. He has a look on the inside, but Cherezhnia does defend, and here comes Daniel Wallin to Bose.
He's trying to have a down look for the inside line, but I don't think it's not going to work for him, though. Meanwhile, in the back, that was so fierce. One as Blackwood and Koznitschia goes to battle. Koznitschia is still dropping down, but Jafari Blackwood retains 15th, though, and Koznitschia drops down after being overtaken by Luca Farina.
Yeah, Konechina dropping like a stone, it has to be said.
Yeah, that was like 2 positions lost in a couple of corners there. That's going to be pretty disappointing there for the F4 manager, especially considering where your teammate is currently in 9th in the midst of a battle position for 7th, which will be pretty outstanding for the Alfa Romeo driver given their current circumstances currently at the moment in the championship at the moment. But yeah, this battle will still be very fun and exciting to see how it spans out. But Parachki is actually pulling away just a bit from Johansson, and they're all starting to be a bit relaxed in the front row, if I can say that.
Yeah, Johansson is still trailing Parachki, but he just isn't able to get close enough to his teammates. So I think Ennis might just have it. Yeah,
it's calmed down in the front though, but with the different driving styles that all the drivers have, especially in regards to the races and like the strategies they have for the tyre wear. Jafari Blackwood's going to have a look at Luca Farina once again. It's going to go down for the inside of Montreal, and Luca Farina just holds off though. But Jafari Blackwood will have the slipstream and the speed for the driver. He's all over the back of him already. He's going down for the inside now. Will he look for the outside? No, he's going to maintain it down for the inside now as they head down to turn 10. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to use the speed. He's going to do it and takes 14th. That's the highest the Jamaican has been so far this race.
Yeah, lovely stuff from Jafari Blackwood, as the 2 former F2 teammates go at it for position, and it is going to be the F2 champion, Jafari Blackwood, who does get past his teammate Luca Farina.
Yeah, that Jamaican driver has been really impressive and is on the ball today, and he's done really well to make such a lot of positions gained as well, and not to like slouches as well. They're really well established names in F1, probably one of the best at what they do at the moment. We're running above Kulasek now. He's still trailing behind Kai Cherezhnia, still without the lack of DRS for Cherezhnia, but the Polish driver is still managing to maintain 7th at the moment very well for the Racing Point driver as well. But the question is, how long can he hold that very good 7th position from the Renault driver of Kulasek, who's done really well and has shown tremendous pace so far this weekend.
Yeah, indeed, it's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to play out, as there is Alexander Arnold now chasing down Giuseppe, heading into Montreal. Is going to be there on the inside line, probably going to try to switch back heading into turn 11. He stays behind him, but he's going to get the much better exit than Giuseppe here, as he's going to have a look on the inside line heading into turn number 10. And let's see if he's going to be able to do it on the inside line. Alexander Arnold is going to be there through Senior, and he gets it done on Giuseppe. There's McIntyre side by side with Konishina, as McIntyre does get past the Alfa Romeo driver quite easily.
Yeah, it's slowly changed your fortunes for the British driver, who has been stuck in 19th for quite a while. He's managed to get himself up into P17, but he's still got long ways to go. And unfortunately, with over half the race already passed, I don't think we could see the McLaren driver get into the points.
Yeah, it's going to be... yeah.
It's Parechka is actually 2.5 faster than Johansson.
Yeah, Johansson is struggling to keep up with Parachki. I've just noticed that it's 1.5 to end this now. So Dennis Groff will definitely be feeling good about this one.
Yeah, absolutely as well. We might see the two Red Bulls come into battle though, because Klaus was just trying to be able to have the racing stream for some reason. But Kulisec and Chereznia is now 10 seconds between himself and his teammate Mandic. So I think Chereznia might be struggling a bit if he's not actually catching up though. But it's all going to come into blows, because here comes the Czech Republican driver of Kulisec. Is going down for the inside of Montreal now, and that will probably allow him to get a very better exit out of turn 9. He's going to use the slipstream of the Racing Point driver. He's probably going to take Valle with him as well. Valle might try to also have a move if Chereznia ends up the worst of these situations. Now, inside of turn 10 they go. Will the Renault driver persevere? He doesn't. I think Chereznia will just hold it off, but it's down to turn 11, and the speed is just too great, and that'll allow for Kulisic to go ahead and take 7th. And finally, the Renault driver has managed to get past the Racing Point driver now. But meanwhile, Valle tries to have a look at the move, but no, inside comes Shaznicki. The Ferrari driver just tries to look outside Daniel Valle, but Daniel Valle just holds it, and he currently holds 9th at the moment.
Yeah, lovely stuff from everyone. There's Dennis Groff getting very, very close to Jesper Johansson, but he hasn't got the greatest advance.
Because here comes Alfred Klaus now.
Yeah, out of absolutely nowhere, he's going to throw a spanner in the works for his teammate, as that is going to build him a bit of a gap between himself and Jesper Johansson. That is not what Dennis Groff needs, but Alfred Klaus.
Look, Johansson, and look, even Franco Gamma has managed to benefit from it as well. He's managed to get up a couple of seconds, which will benefit him, but Johansson is struggling like no one's business. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. It's 2.5 seconds already. The Swede is actually under trouble, and his hold on the championship lead, I think, will come into an end, because Graf looks very strong now, and I don't think Johansson can hold it on too much longer.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. How far can Jesper Johansson go and hold his second position, because Dennis Groff is looking seriously strong heading into senior. He's very, very close, but isn't close enough.
No, but Parechki is still just pulling away from that from his teammate as well, as Nielsen just tries to have a look on Cisetti, trying to replicate his teammate's success of passing the Williams driver. The Williams driver, despite being an underpowered machinery, I think the Italian driver's done very well, and for holding on to the places that she did for so long, I think it's very good for her to be in that position that she's currently in. And she's not making overtakes easy, which is for sure. But anyways, Dennis Graf is probably going to make his second attempt now on Jesper Johansson on this lap, as lap 19 out of 30 comes now. We've got about 12 laps about to go now at the moment. Now, Graf is just holding into the inside line. He's not going to make any attempts at the moment. I don't think he's going to be any close yet. Probably make his move in Montreal, though, if he fancies his chances. And he's not going to make any moves in the first sector at the moment.
Indeed, the question for Dennis Groff is, I feel like it's going to be much of the same as it was with Johansson and Parachki. Dennis, basically what he has to do is just stay patient and wait for the right opportunity. But as we know, Groff, very, very mature driving style. He is quite used to doing that. So Johansson will, at the moment, just have to make his Mercedes the widest Formula 1 car ever to be able to defend from his fellow world champion.
Why that's a very good one. No, yeah, I agree with you there. Johansson needs to do very well defending. The thing with Parechki's advantage, Johansson's advantage at the time.
Oh, I'm going to interrupt you there.
Sorry, my apologies. Shinechkin tries to make the move on the inside of Daniel Valle. Valle holds it out on Montreal now, but the Ferrari driver will have a better exit out of turn 9, though. Bringing Alexander-Arnold with him as well. Alexander-Arnold might make things a bit of a trouble there for Shinechkin, but I think he's got just about enough pace to go ahead and make the move on the Alfa Romeo driver now, and it stakes it, and Suzuki goes up into 9th.
Yeah, nice stuff there from Laban, as he will be up into P9. Gonna bag some points for Ferrari, as his teammate Farina really is struggling at the moment. They're down in 16th as he's behind Victor Album at the moment.
Yeah, that's pretty shocking though. But Alexander Arnold though, he's doing a remarkable recovery drive at the moment, because he could probably find himself into the points after that spin with Fernando Tosto, and to end the race looking like points was not possible, to end up maybe scoring points potentially. It'll be a very good way for the German to go, because he's done an incredible performance so far.
Yeah, as it's really interesting to see this battle here, as Dennis Groff is chasing down Jesper Johansson. He's getting so close, and look at this under braking especially. He is really, really close to the back of that Mercedes, but he just can't get it. Obviously, you have to really just nail it to be able to get a move into turn 10.
Yeah, Cherezhnia now. He's now going to be in the attack, and Kulic will now be in the defense now. They've pulled away from 9 and 10th of Suzuki and Valle after their amidst of their own battle now. This is going to be a battle for best of the rest, with the exception of Mandic and Gamba, because they're currently in their own packs respectively. But Cherezhnia is going to have a look down for the outside line now of turn 10 now. He's going to use all the speed in the world. And oh no, they're going to be still side by side heading to turn 11. And no, Cherezhnia will have the widest line, but I don't think they'll be the fastest one at the minute, as Kulisic just holds on into 7th.
Yeah, there's needed some passage, but a very, very valiant effort from Kai Cherezhnia to try and attempt a move on the outside line there. We've only seen moves on the inside line there. Yes, Kai thought he wanted to switch it up a little. Didn't work for him, so yeah, we'll see if anything will change for the next time around. As Dennis Groff in pursuit of Johansson, Alfred Klaus very, very close there as well. So as we've seen previously, if Groff would slip up with a mistake, I do think Alfred Klaus is going to be there on his inside.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. But Alexander Arnold has actually caught up to Daniel Valle. He's really, really on the move at the moment, and yeah, he's probably going to have a look maybe in this lap, maybe if he's going to be close enough now. But he's not going to be close enough here for this first sector, I don't think, just yet. Even though he carries a lot of speed, though, he saves the car just about. But yeah, Dennis Groff is still all behind Johansson now, as that gap is now going to come into 4 seconds between the Swede and the Macedonian. Johansson is still struggling, but the fact that he's defending very well from his championship challenger is all impressive. Cherezhnia tries to have a look down to the outside now. Sorry, inside, heading into Montreal, the chicane now with enough speed and probably having a better exit now. And he's going to go down for there. Whoa!
And that is Alexander Arnold. He's going to go round the outside of Daniel Walle, and the German is back into points. But Cherezhnia is going to try it on the outside line once again. We've never seen anything like this, but through Bose into turn 11, it's obviously going to be Kulasek with the better speed, and thus Cherezhnia will have to stay behind still. You can respect the effort, as Lewis McIntyre is trying to move on Victor Album. The McLaren driver is going to try to claw his way back up the field.
Yeah, the Swedish driver is not... The British driver is not actually catching up to the Danish, because the Danish just overtook him for P16. So that's really good there. Oh my word. Also, Alexander Arnold, what an amazing overtake. I don't think we have seen an overtake at the Montreal chicane, especially on the outside of turn 9. So that was really impressive there from the German. As he continues his charge now, I think Kulisec, Cherezhnia and Sejnitsky will probably be worried, because in 8 laps, I think Alexander Arnold can actually climb back up.
I have to say, though, what a brilliant recovery from Alexander Arnold. He was P15 after his crash, and he's just not given up, and he's pushed through the field, and he's now back up into the points. You really have to respect that.
Yeah, it'll be really hard who we're going to give driver of the day to, because there's just so many great performances here, and it's just non-stop action with amazing battles so far. As Cherezny's now going to have his chances on Kulisevich once again. Now he's got slipstream. Now he's going to do it a bit early. Now he's going to use the inside line of Montreal now, pretty much like Alexander Arnold did, I think. But I don't think he'll have enough speed heading into the corner now, as he's going to use the slipstream in the second straight to make his move now. Yeah, he's going to go down for the inside line. Is he going to go for the outside line this time? No, he has learned his lesson, as he's going to go down for the inside line of turn 10. Is he going to have enough speed to make it work? Is it going to stick? He does it. The Polish driver takes 7th.
Lovely stuff from Kai Cherezny, and finally he is up at the 7th. As I said, he's learned his lesson, and really, really great execution from him as well. Still, though, you have to commend Kulisek on the defense all these laps, and even though he couldn't hold it off the outside line to Senior, did very well defending into Montreal. I have to say, I was incredibly late on the brakes, but yeah, Cherezny with a very, very good performance, but he's got 10.5 seconds to his teammate Mandic, so I think it's safe to say that he might not be closing up in these last 7 laps.
Yeah, that would be an understatement, because Mandic has kind of been in no man's land. He's not in the DRS range of anywhere. He's kind of in the midst of himself. Very troublesome free at the moment, but the DRS range, especially in those 2 straights, is very beneficial, and if you're outside of it, then it's not going to go very well for you. But he does have the benefit of those that were behind him, of Cherezny and Kulisevich, to keep fighting that he maintains that valued 6th position. But yeah, I agree. Cherezny has just fouled too much that I don't think he'll be able to catch up to his teammate anytime soon.
Indeed, it's going to be... yeah, I think 7th is what the Polish driver will have to settle with, as we've still got the battle for 8th, though. I want to say the battle's over yet, even, because you've got Kulisek still chasing. Yeah, you've got him still chasing down Cherezny for 7th position, and then you've got Lamas Nishkai there in 9th as well.
Yeah, this is still just going to be a very fun bout to hold, though. Dennis Graf is still in the back of Johansson now. Johansson's done very good defending. I'm still not sure how long the Swede will be able to pull this off now. He goes into defense down into turn 1 now. Graf does not look for the inside line of turn 1. I think he'll know that's slowest. And Johansson still maintains the lead at the moment. But you can see Johansson's getting a bit anxious hold on to his 2nd place, because it is so valued for him, for the constructors and for the drivers as well. This is probably the closest that he'll ever get to Dennis Graf if he finishes where he does at the moment, and it's all very valued here in the French Grand Prix now, as we're entering to the closing stages now with about 7 laps to go.
Yeah, it's gonna get a bit tight for Dennis Graf. Time is running out for the 2017 World Champion, as he's gonna close in on Jesper Johansson into the Montreal chicane. Nothing coming out of that though just yet, so Graf is gonna have to stay behind. He just gets so close to Johansson, but he just can't make the move on the Swede, looks like. But he's got quite a good run heading out of Senior, though. He has to look on the inside, but he isn't close enough. Still, though, I guess he is just reminding Jesper
great
that
defending there, as Alexander Arnold now, he's going to be under trouble now from Daniel Wale now. I think Alexander Arnold now, his aggressive drive up into the point scoring position might come to hinder him now, because he has to be in the defensive now from a challenging Daniel Valle now. These two are going to go ahead and battle out for the last point scoring position now. They're going to go side by turn 10, and Daniel Valle goes ahead and takes 10th from Alexander Arnold now.
I have to say, the midfield has been on fire. This
it really has.
Yeah, really. We haven't seen such a lively midfield so long, it feels like. And it is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, Daniel Wale takes the 1 point away from Alexander Arnold. I have to say, Daniel Wale has been doing a very, very good race. As you said, Jamie, it's going to be real difficult to award driver of the day. But yeah.
Well, this is probably the first time we have to give multiple drivers of the day, because it's just one. You can't pick one. You really can't. Yeah.
we can always do honorable mentions, you know.
Okay, sure, sure, we'll do that for sure. But meanwhile, we head up into the front though. Johansson is still doing his best in defending though. I swear, how he manages to defend for Dennis Kraft for so long. I am impressed by the Swede's skills. It's the reason why he's a multiple-time world champion. From pure defense strategies like this now. But Dennis Graff has actually got very close now. I think this is the closest he's ever been, Miran. And I think, yeah, he's going to have a look for a move now down into turn 10. Will it pay off?
I think it might just as Dennis Groff is there on the inside line. This for the championship. Headed to Bose. Johansson can't do it. And Dennis Groff up into second place. He's waited and waited. And it's finally paid off for the German. And finally goes up into second. And this will see him extending his lead over the championship.
Yeah, we shall see though. It's still not over though. We can still see chances that Johansson may be able to catch up to Dan's Graff now. As we look into the back, Luca Farina is going to have a move on Jafari Blackwood. The Jamaican has been an amazing drive so far today now, as he's currently stays in 14th position at the moment now, and he still defends from Luca Farina, who's just not close enough to overtake the Jamaican now. As we enter into 5 laps now left to go now, Johansson still now got the DRS range now, and now he's going to be in the attack now for Dennis Graff now.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting now as Johansson is now on the offensive, but I feel like he is falling down a tiny bit, so I don't know if he's going to be able to try and retaliate onto the Dennis Groff.
Yeah, we shall see, because while he lacks in the tower, the benefits is that now Dennis Groff does not have the DRS range, which has helped him quite a lot now. But now it's going to be in Jesper Johansson's favour now. We'll see if that will do any favours for him for able to catch up to his championship rival now. The Dennis Graff currently has a championship lead as it stands mathematically now, but if the Swedish driver manages to make up some perseverance and by some sheer luck, then Johansson will be able to have the lead heading into round 10.
Yeah, he's gonna just have to hope for a miracle here, but just isn't close enough heading into turn 10 right now. So he's gonna have to pick up the pace, but he also has the helping hand of the DRS as Nilsson goes for a late lunge on the inside line of Alexander Arnold, but didn't work for the Alpha Tauri driver.
That was very good. I don't think I could be wrong. No, I don't think during Alexander Arnold's time as an Alpha Tauri driver, he has yet to outplace cross the line ahead of his teammate of Emmy Nilsson. Even though Emmy Nilsson has been a very good runner for him, this will be a very good way to go for Alexander Arnold though to once again finish ahead of his teammate though. But those two for Scuderia AlphaTauri drivers have put on such an amazing performance so far this race still. As we right now with Alpha Klaus still behind him though. Franco Gamba has not left the lead. The lead pack, sorry. But he's still not giving up. He's still trailing behind the Mercedes and the Red Bull, and that is absolutely amazing for the Renault driver.
Yeah, really well done from Franco Gamba, I have to say, for being able to stick with these guys. As Alfred Klaus is now chasing down Jesper Johansson. Johansson is losing time on Dennis Groff. I don't think he's able to catch up.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It's not looking good for Johansson now. His as it slowly Dennis Graff slowly pulls away from Johansson though, and the only thing that Johansson has got is the DRS range. But I think the tire wear is just too great for the Swedish driver. It's not good enough. It's not going to be in the optimum now. As Alexander Arnold now and Emmy Nilsson now, they're still very close to Daniel Valle now. They're not going to try and make any moves. I think they're going to try and make for their last position, the last second decision on Daniel Valle for the final point scoring position. Valle is still in trouble though, so this is going to be this battle here for P10. You've got a battle for P7, and you've still got a battle for P3.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this will play out in the final 2 laps of this race. We're on the penultimate lap now, I do believe. No?
3 laps ago?
Yeah, 3 laps to go. Sorry. As they go Johansson to the inside of Dennis Groff into turn 1. Out of absolutely nowhere. But that didn't work for... Obviously didn't work for Johansson, and it's kind of backed him up here into Alfred Klaus. Klaus could try and take third away from Jesper.
No, because the inside line of there doesn't work. But Johansson, wow, we were talking about how he was falling behind, and then he goes out and makes a move on Dennis Graf now. Franco Gamba is still in the midst of the fight, though, still. But yeah, this is pretty worrying news for Graf now. Graf is going to be under trouble from Graf now. Sorry, Johansson's going to be under... Sorry. Graf is going to be under trouble for Johansson now. As they head into 3 laps to go now. It's going to be a change of luck now for the Swede driver. There's still a chance that he may be able to finish ahead of him.
This has made things even more just crazy. But yeah. Johansson, I felt like the move into turn 1, I felt like it was more out of desperation than actually succeeding with the move. I don't know if it is going to work for him.
But it's actually worked because Johansson is not actually... Because Graf is not pulling away from Johansson. In fact, Johansson's actually closing up to Graf, I believe.
That is absolutely insane. As there goes Blackwood on the...
Black's going to make the move with Sasette now. What a way to cap off the drive by finishing in P13 after starting last. And Jafari Blackwood is still just holding on to there at the minute, though. But it's got Charging Luca Farina right behind him, though. The Jamaican driver is going to go to the outside. Now down to the inside now. He's going to have enough speed to make the move on the Italian driver. He's going to do it down for the inside line. And take a bow, Jafari Blackwood, because you're up into P13. What an amazing drive from you so far.
I have to say, even though P13 yields no points, it is a massively impressive drive for Jafari Blackwood, considering he started last, and he is up into 13th. Absolutely brilliant from Blackwood. But as we're now on the penultimate lap of the French Grand Prix, it is going to be all or nothing for Jesper Johansson, as he's just going to have to get close enough to Dennis Graf as he heads into Sandbomb, turn number 6. We'll see if he's going to be able to do anything heading down the Mistral Strait.
Yeah, this is pure drive to survive scenario stuff right here with Johansson. He is now going to be slowly starting to pull away, though. He's still got the DRS range, though. You could be right in terms of desperation, because Graf had slowly pulled away from Johansson in a bit, but there's still chances there for the Swede to make any final chances on the move. Meanwhile, in the back there, Alexander Arnold is still going to have his chance to score a final point after being spun around by Fernando Tost, and he's going to have to do that. But first he needs to get past Daniel Valle while still defending a charging Amy Nielsen. No, he's going to do it. He's going to try and make the move on the Montreal chicane, I think. Is he close enough? He is. He's not quite close enough, though, and doesn't make any moves currently at the minute now as he heads down the inside line, heading into the second straight now.
Yeah, the question is if Emil Nilsson might be close enough to his teammate to try a move. I don't think he is, though. Heading into...
Oh, he's going to do the inside line.
He has a look on the inside line. Very, very close there between the two Alpha Tauri teammates. And, yeah, none of them willing to sacrifice it.
Here we
Final lap. Here we go. It's going to be Graf versus Johansson for runner-up in this race, and potentially the championship lead, as Johansson will be trying absolutely everything now. But we're going to see what is going to happen as we're going to head into the Montreal chicane now then through turn number 3. The gap is about 6/10 now. So, yeah, it is the slower corners where Dennis does seem to excel.
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations to Enes Parashki for winning the race. Well done. But meanwhile, Dennis Graf is still... Dennis Graf is slowly pulling away from Johansson, though. The DRS, he needs to be able to get enough gap for the DRS range that it'll be ineffective for Johansson to make the move of the Montreal.
Close enough. I don't think Jesper Johansson isn't close enough.
No, he's not. He's not going to be able to make the move. And if he's not going to make the move, yep, he's got it. I think Dennis Graf holds on to second now. And I think Klaus will also hold on to fourth from Gamba now. So I think the positions here will stay as the way they are. Because I don't think any last gap position moves will be there. Because he's not close enough heading to 10-10. He's not close enough heading to 10-10. He isn't. Graf is pulling away.
And I think
meanwhile...
yeah, there is the battle for P10. Alexander Arnold's going to dive down the inside of Daniel Waller for the points-paying position. 1 point between the Alfa Romeo driver and the German stand-in replacement, as the two are going to go side by side. Arnold opts for the outside. No, switches to the inside.
I think it's going to make it work. He's going to make it work. Because Alexander Arnold going to make it work. He's going to do it. He has enough speed. He has done it. He's done it.
And he does get it, but coming round the final corner, or I shouldn't say that, but Enes Parashki, after a dominant drive, wins the French Grand Prix to take his 3rd win of the season. What a drive from Enes. Dennis Graf will just take second. to extend his championship lead ahead of Jesper Johansson in third.
Cherezny just holds off this fight in pecking order to take 7th. Kulisic with a very good effort there finishes in 8th, followed by Sesnicki at 9th. Alexander Arnold, an amazing battle for him. The German finishes in 10th, and followed behind him is Valle and Emmy Nilsson. Jafari Blackwood started last. He goes up into 13th, followed by Sassetti and Farina 15th, Albon 16th, and
yeah, but let's go through the final classifications then. So Enis Parachki wins the French Grand Prix. He breaks the curse at Paul Ricard, and he takes the win from Poland. Dennis Graf will take second with the extra fastest lap point added on to that, with Jesper Johansson finishing a bittersweet third. Alfred Klaus will be fourth with Franco Gamba, very good P5, and then the 2 racing points of Mandic and Cherezny, followed by Wojtek Kulasek in 8th, with Lawa Zasnicka in 9th, and Alexander Arnold just grabbing 1 point away.
The challenge driver Daniel Valle for Alfa Romeo is best for the 11th, while behind him Emmy Nilsson for the Scuderia Ferrari driver, despite performances finishes in 12th, the Estonian. While behind him, a very good performance there for Jafari Blackwood, the Jamaican. The Haas driver finishes at 13th. Julie Tassetti up in 9th and then finishes in 14th, though pretty good there for the women Williams driver, though. While behind it, Luca Farina, pretty disappointed for the Italian. He finishes 15th. Victor Albon, the Danish driver, the second of the Haas's, finishes in 16th for the Dane. Followed behind him, Lucas McIntyre, the British driver, in 17th for McLaren. 18th is followed by Emily Kuznickia, the second of the Alfa Romeos, finishes in 18th, and Jules Suto, the Williams driver for Slovakian, finishes in 19th, and following in retirement is Fernando Tosta McLaren.
Yes, and that has been it for the French Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching, and now it is time to answer the very, very difficult question of driver of the day. And honestly, I'm going to give it to Alexander Arnold, because he was running such a brilliant 5th, and then he got spun round, which is, I have to say, a massive shame. But the fact that he was still able to persevere and push through the field to at least secure 1 point, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, and especially considering the fact he's been out of an F1 car for a very, very long while. So congratulations to Alex. You are my driver of the day.
Yeah, he's I'm really amazed by that performance, actually, to be honest, for Alexander Arnold as well, and it's very well for the team as well, especially for him to finish as well in the points. And like you said, it spun, and he did a very good qualifying performance, and to recover like that is absolutely amazing. But I think I'll give it to Jafari Blackwood, because starting last is pretty bad, but because it's a lot of cars as well, so you're probably in the worst position as well. And for him to make such a climb up, it's really amazing. And Haas is not the fastest car as well, and yet he's made overtakes on a Ferrari car and a McLaren. So that in itself is impressive, and that's why Jafari Blackwood gets my driver of the day.
Yeah, I'd say very well done to Jafari as well. But that has been it then. For the French Grand Prix. Thanks so much for watching. The next round of Formula One will continue with the European leg of the season, as we do head to Germany for the first of the German doubleheaders. We're going at the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheimring for round 10 of the championship. Make sure to not miss that. We'll have Formula 2 back as well. And Porsche Super Cup all at the Hockenheimring, and Super Formula will be back on next week as well. So make sure to not miss that. But until then, I have been Miran.
And I've been Jamie.
Thanks so much for watching. The ASOC will return